welcome to the first season of the Is the Planet Doomed podcast. This is a project produced by the students of a course with the same name in the Department of Geography at Colgate University. By unpacking some of the world's most pressing and complex problems, the episodes in this podcast help answer the question, well, are we doomed? In this episode, Ellie Burton explores the connection between avian flu and the growing urbanization of the planet.
This podcast is presented by the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, CDC, Safer, Healthier People.
City living is quickly becoming the norm for humans. Every day, more and more people move into small, boxed apartments and become part of a city. It's a mass migration, a collection of worker bees all connected by concrete. Urbanization is when a population shifts from a rural lifestyle to an urban one. It's the flow of people into a city. It's the skyscrapers of Manhattan and the bustling trade markets in Mexico City. It's the throngs of thousands in a Beijing square. Urbanization comes when spacious rural living doesn't work anymore. Usually, it's the development of an area to better maximize its human utility. Think bulldozing a farm to make place for an apartment complex. As space for us to live shrinks, either due to pollution or receding shorelines, we have to figure out other places to live. Cue cities. See, the issue with cities is, when people congregate in small locations, diseases spread faster, exponentially faster. This was seen in the 2009 influenza A virus subtype H1N1 epidemic. H1N1 ravaged the globe and was dubbed swine flu. With almost 17,000 confirmed deaths, it devastated Mexico and China.
Hello, I'm Dr. Joe Brzee with the CDC Influenza Division. People do not normally get swine flu, but human infections can and do occur. Most commonly, human cases of swine flu happen in people who are around pigs, but it's possible for swine flu viruses to spread from person to person also.
Farming has been an occupation for thousands of years, but just recently it's become a dangerous one, thanks to diseases like H1N1. Farmers have also had to struggle with other geographic factors threatening their livelihood, such as drought and deceased farming land. This can be seen in China, where cities like Beijing are growing at an exponential rate. This leads to farmers squeezing into plots of land too small for their animals and producing unhealthy living conditions. It's not hard to imagine, then, how swine flu spread from pig to pig, eventually making that inevitable cross-species jump and beginning its attack on the human race. Farmers that were not able to consolidate found themselves out of a job and at the mercy of capitalistic neoliberalism. Soon after this urbanization boom, the great migration of ex-farmers into cities began. Overpopulation is a hallmark for cities like Beijing, as well as the epicenter for H1N1, Mexico City. Some of this overpopulation is due to the farmers being funneled into cities in search of work. There's the neoliberalism for you. It's a positive feedback loop where people go to cities for jobs. That means more jobs in the cities. More people have to migrate there to get those jobs. This leads to a ton of people in a really small space. Overcrowding of cities leads to numerous issues, especially health-related ones, like poor sanitation. This, coupled with those who commute and are primarily responsible for carrying the disease vis-a-vis public transport, lead to the spread of H1N1. This close contact, enriched environment of a cramped, dirty city is a petri dish, perfect for culturing disease. H1N1 may have started in a small farm just outside Mexico City, but thanks to urbanization, jobs and monies were in the cities, and the farmers had to go where they could sell their products. Now, either as residents or salesmen, the farmers flock to cities, vesicles of disease waiting to burst. Farmers act as a liaison of sorts for the bionic niche that swine flu we know was produced in and the outside world. The bionic niche acted as a nursery, giving the pathogen a place to grow and interact intimately with the host species. Once the cross-species jump was made from pig to human, farmers became a direct highway, Route 101, for pathogens into Mexico City. From there, the world. Swine flu was deadly on a global scale because of the urbanization of Mexico City. As population grew, capitalism and neoliberalism grew as well, forcing a rapid urbanization of the surrounding area. It makes sense, really. The more successful they get, the bigger they get. The bigger they get, the more people come. The more people come, the more infrastructure is needed, and with infrastructure comes more people seeking wealth. People who come from around the world. Those people aren't there forever, though, and at some point they go home, taking the parasites with them. It comes as no surprise, then, that in a matter of months, swine flu had spanned across entire oceans and began its mainland assault on China. China was slammed especially hard by swine flu due to its high level of urbanization and globalization. Its relationship to the outside world was spurred on by neoliberalism and the global markets, both of which demanded a high traffic flow in and out of China. This, combined with the cramped living conditions and low health standards, led to thousands dying in Beijing of 2009. Among the dead were many elderly folks. This was due to the unnaturally high number of geriatric residents in the city. These were the men and women who couldn't survive on the smaller plots of land left over from urbanization's assault on farmers and moved into cities, like Beijing, to find work or be with family. However, elderly folks' immune systems are rarely up to par and often can't bear the strain of diseases like swine flu. The way that Beijing's healthcare is set up makes it really difficult for those of old age to access vaccines. So often, those who require them the most obtain them the least. Neoliberalism and capitalism are responsible for this, as they funnel wealth into the pockets of younger, more successful men and women and away from the elderly. Swine flu spread like wildfire through the geriatric population, helping it continue to devour the Chinese population. It was uniquely destructive in its path, snowballing into one of the deadliest epidemics across the globe.
With the increase in global spread of the virus, more fatal cases will occur in many countries of the region. The countries will need to prepare their healthcare system to manage severe patients and therefore reduce preventable deaths.
The reason why swine flu became such a global epidemic was undisputedly because of neoliberalism and urbanization. The three work together to create an infinite positive feedback loop that perpetually furthers all of them, riding on neoliberalism and urbanization, going from infecting one pigsty to infecting the world.
Until next time, stay safe. This is Ellie Burton signing off and reminding you to get vaccinated.